Hi there guys, it's Martyn here, and welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Catch-Up, episode 31. And yes, I'm wearing sunglasses today because why not? I'm unleashing my inner American today. So before we get into your questions, let's do the video recap. So on Tuesday, for the Now review, we had Now That's What I Call Easy, which is one of the better spin-offs in my opinion. Lots of nice music to listen to. Bit of similarity with Now Jazz, but a good album nonetheless. And then on Wednesday we had the first episode of the brand new series looking at Through the Dragon's Eye. Really happy that went out. I'm glad a lot of you have enjoyed it. A lot of you have said, oh, it reminds me of other YouTubers, and I have a lot of influences. I'll talk about that in the video, but thank you for all the support on the new series. Please continue it. Part 2 will be up on Wednesday. And as I mentioned, the original full episodes without my take and commentary will come out on Monday evening. So check out the first episode of Through the Dragon's Eye on Monday evening when it goes on this channel. And on Friday we had, well not on Friday, it was Saturday, a delayed instalment of the IDENT review. It was the Windows on the World from BBC Two. They've always been a bit tricky with copyright, and some of you have been very great with suggesting ideas how to file disputes for copyright claims, but it's up now, but I've taken your steps for the future. Alright, I think that's all those sort of announcements. Now let's get into your questions. So starting off with Digi the Robot, who says, what is your favourite BBC comedy show? That's a tough one. I'm a big fan of Gavin and Stacey. Gavin and Stacey was a great show from 2007 to 10. Good job it ended when it did. I do like Blackadder, a bit of an older BBC show, but that's pretty good as well. I like some of the quirkier stuff, particularly that was on BBC Three. Shows like, there's We Are Clang, Off the Wall, which not a lot of people remember. And there was one set in a sixth form that is, the name's escaping me. DK the rapper, Balamori, what was its name? It'll come back to me. You'll tell me in the comments, surely. And question 2, do you think CITV should show more British content since most of the things shown on there are American? On one hand, I'd say yeah, but then you have to remember CITV is part of ITV, so it's commercial, and the American shows probably pay more to have it on, or, you know, imports. And besides, the BBC with CBBC shows a lot of British content, so I think it's actually nice that we have a British channel in a way and an American channel, so you get the best of both worlds. Variety V asks, did you ever hear or watch the CBBC show called The Secret Show? Do you know what? I actually haven't heard of that. I'll have to check that out. Tim Goodwin says, I see you have a lot of time on your hands as you have a job, acting, girlfriend in this channel. I want to know, how do you cope with such a hectic lifestyle, and what is your best way of keeping on top of it all? Do you feel any benefits mentally for doing all of this? Not especially related to you doing YouTube, and you've mentioned that you're trying to do it as well. Yeah, it's very difficult. I feel I'm quite fortunate because with my job, it's a fairly flexible job. I do have to work a lot, but it can be flexible. Same with acting work. And to be honest, I think I've just been very lucky so far. As YouTube isn't my full-time career, say if I did get an acting job that lasted 6 months to a year and it took a lot of time, then obviously I would have to unfortunately stop doing YouTube for a while. This year's just been quite lucky. All the sort of elements have worked in harmony, if that makes sense, that I've been able to keep on top of it all. So I think part of it is down to luck and just general life. But the best way I can describe it is just do what you can. Do not force yourself to put out a certain amount of content each week if it's not possible. It's not healthy, but I've always said that to myself. Don't get too caught up in YouTube numbers. Don't get too caught up in deadlines. Just do you. You're doing it for fun, and that's what I've been doing, which I appreciate you guys' support. So yeah, as long as you're having fun, then that's the key thing. Dr. Floyd03 says, favourite First Doctor episode? Ooh, that's tough. Probably the Dalek Invasion of Earth. I watched that when I was quite young, and considering now it's over 50 years old, it still really holds up quite well, I think, as 6 episodes. I did like the movie version as well, 2150 AD, but the original serial, the 6-part serial, that's probably my favourite Hartnell story. And 2, are you getting Fallout 76? No, I'm not. Have you seen how much of a mess that is? Also, I don't have a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, I only have a Nintendo Switch, and as far as I know, Fallout 76 is not hitting that platform, but I never really played the Fallout games anyway, so no, that's passing me by. Patrick Canick TV has a few questions, saying, I found some pictures of the BBC pop art ident. That's brill, I knew there were pictures, we need to find the video. And 2, will you update the BBC Two 91 to 2001 idents as the Halloween idents were found? I've thought about this going and updating my previous video, but the very first ident review was on those Halloween idents, so I feel I've done my part to include them within the channel, so no, I don't feel much need to go back and include those in. Nathan Simpson says, hey Adam, for next week's Sunday catch-up, how about calling it the Sunday catch-up show, parodying the Mr. Men show? That's not a bad idea. I might name it after the show. I mean, it's not something I've thought about before, but it's quite a quirky idea. So yeah, if you tune in next week, I potentially, if I'm feeling like it, may have done that. And as we get on to the next one, we have Harvey Richards, who says, have you ever considered a video game review series? Yeah, I love video game reviews. I mean, I grew up on the Angry Video Game Nerd and you know, just various channels that reviewed games. The only problem is I lack some of the equipment. I don't have any capture card technology. I can't capture my footage. I don't have that many consoles where I am. I have my Switch. I recently got my PS2 and then by that extent my PlayStation 1. But I might do reviews or just like I might do a retrospect on what I have up here, like a little collection video, but maybe it's something in the future is something I'd do. Space Shark Productions has a few, asking me, what is the serial code for Marco Polo? As you've said, it's the 4th story, I'm going to go with D. And you've also requested that I do the BBC One Circle idents for the ident review, and that leads me on to a few of you. As I did last time, I'm going to answer you all who've requested ident reviews. So, Space Shark Productions, you've requested the BBC One Circles. Chestnut Bloke, you've requested the BBC One Globes. James Hyman, you've requested one of the ITV regions, so Granada, Tyne Tees, etc. And Darren Brown, you've requested CITV. So all of you I've just named there, your suggestions are all accounted for. Some of them I have plans to do in the near future, some of them will probably come in 2019, but don't worry, they will not be overlooked. Quinn the Fanboy says, if you could swap out any of the tracks on Now That's What I Call Now of your choice, which ones would you change? Probably the ones I mentioned in the video, so for example, I'd probably swap out Karma Chameleon from Now 1 instead to have You Can't Hurry Love by Phil Collins. Or keeping with the Phil Collins theme, on Now 17 you have Kingston Town by UB40, great song, but I'd swap it out for either maybe I Wish It Would Rain Down on Me, or Dub Be Good to Me by Beats International, or just, I don't know, something else. I wouldn't have picked Kingston Town. Synthwolf27 says, what inspired you to start this channel? A multitude of things really. I started this channel way back in 2012, started seriously working on it in 2016. I watched a lot of YouTube, a lot of collection videos, a lot of reviewers, like media, games, films, etc. I wanted to sort of give my spin on it. I was a Doctor Who fan, I still am, of course that's why I started my Doctor Who collections, but yeah, I just like media and history and quirky things like that, you know, idents and Now albums and things like that. I just wanted to put my views and my what would you say, my quirks, my hobbies, my interests over to you guys, and I appreciate all the support. Scrambled59 says, were you sad to find out that JonTron turned out to be a Nazi troll? Well, I didn't know it was a Nazi troll specifically. I mean, I enjoy JonTron's content. I tend to stay out of the political stuff, as you all know by now. But if he makes more content, I'm happy with that. But I know he's done some things, but we've all done things we regret. And 2, did you know tiger shark embryos eat each other in the womb? No. I did not know that. Beniz Random says, when it gets near to Christmas time, can you review the John Lewis ads from the past years, 2011 to 18, and what's your opinion on the new one? That's not a bad idea, advert reviews. The only problem is, again, you know, copyright and block worldwide and stuff, but I might try and file disputes. That might be a potential idea near Christmas. Thank you for the suggestion. What do I think of them? I thought when they first started, they had a lot of charm, a lot of heart. Now it's just, you know, becoming a bit paint by numbers. The new one, it's fine enough with, it's Elton John, isn't it? Yeah, it's clever, but there's other ones I prefer. Luke Sheppy says, did you watch comedy shows The Day Today and Brass Eye? If so, what did you think about them? I didn't watch them, unfortunately, so I can't really comment on this one. Hassanain Junaid has, what's your favourite villains? Favourite villains? Ooh, dearie, dearie, dearie. I do like Scar from The Lion King. That was one that I've known since childhood that stuck with me. Probably he's my favourite villain out of anything. And 2, when are you going to make your DVD collection? Probably not for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, having a lot of them and not a lot of space, I have a selection of my DVDs here, but not every single one of them is here. If you want me to do a DVD collection of what I have here, I'm more than happy to do that, but it's not everything I own. And James Hyman did have another question, which being which region of ITV did you think had the best idents? I always like Granada, how Granada sort of moved and updated with the times. A lot of them stayed similar for quite a while, but Granada's probably my favourite, and probably because I'm from the north as well. The Original Being says, thoughts on CEX? CEX I've always been sort of a big fan of for many years. You know, I got a lot of cheap movies there, cheap games that work, and you know, they sell. Sometimes you get lucky, like I bought a game for the Switch, but no one had claimed their points, it had all the DLC, so you get lucky. I don't like the practice they're doing in a minute about reprinting labels or, you know, things like that and then selling them for the retail price. I think that's a bit scummy. I don't shop there nearly as much as I used to, but you know, I have to admit in the past they've done me a great service by providing me a lot of movies and games. And 2, do you own Charlie Says DVD? If not, highly recommend getting it if you're planning another series of video scaries. I don't have it, but now that you've said that, you're basically asking me to check it out. And then Itoji says, what is, in your opinion, the best Christmas movie? For me, it's gotta be The Grinch. And I know it's not the cartoon version from the 60s, I do like the Jim Carrey version. For me, that just makes me feel all Christmassy, gets me ready for the season. It was one of the first Christmas movies I ever saw. It's one of the best. And 2, be or not to be. To be or not to be? That is the question, as William Shakespeare told us. As an actor, I'm gonna say to be. Because who doesn't want to be to be? Not me. This rhyming's getting confusing. And that is essentially all your questions for the week. Thank you again for sticking to the rules of just 1 or 2 questions. That's much appreciated. Thank you for leaving your questions. And if you have any more, please leave them in the comments below and I will answer them next time in next week's Sunday Catch-Up. But as that is all, thank you all for the support. Please keep supporting the shows, the Now Review, the IDENT Review, and the new show, Looking at Through the Dragon's Eye. I'm really happy with that one so far, so please keep supporting it. Have a fantastic week going forward, and until the next one, I will see you guys next time.